My name is Ebony Bryant, and I am the founder and managing director of The Idea Inc., the project management agency for millennial entrepreneurs and community changemakers. You're about to discover what triggers cause some great leaders and entrepreneurs to fall short, lose money and momentum, and tips on how to grow your business or your career, a community initiative or nonprofit with little time, name recognition, resources, and manpower. Here's why you may not be making the strides you want to make and how your business is being impacted by it. You compare yourself to where you think you should be. You don't really have a business plan or strategy, and if you do, it is sitting on your desktop or Google Drive. And everyone's heard if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You spend more time thinking about what you are going to do instead of actually doing it. You're not really sure which one of the 1001 strategies you've learned over the years will work, and that causes you to freeze. You want the freedom that goes along with being a business owner, but not sure you have what it takes to be successful at it. You can work 12 hours a day. That's not a problem. The problem is not knowing if your hard work will pay off. You don't have enough money or people around to support the growth you envision. So in this presentation, you will learn ways to determine if you have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur, business owner, or community leader, and really, ultimately, you're the only one that can make that decision. Tools that make being a successful business owner possible when the going gets tough, and it does get tough. Tips on what to look for when it is time to close your business doors. Tips to keep going when your business is on the cusp of success, and why traditional business practices should be in the forefront of your mind. And lastly, how to use the resources and successes you do have to grow your business. So to be blunt, what have you been avoiding that has caused your business or nonprofit or community initiative to stall? Are you cut out to be a business owner? What is in a business plan that would help you to decide if this business is in fact viable? What haven't you thought to ask that has caused you to leave money on the table? Do you really want to run a business, or is it freedom you're after? How do you build a brand with credibility when no one knows your name? So at the end of this presentation, I'll give you the opportunity to learn even more about how to have the capacity you need in order to run a thriving, successful enterprise. I have included what I do to launch, run, and manage six-figure to million-dollar businesses for successful coaches, consultants, authors, educators, community change makers, and tech startups. Okay, so here are the 6 triggers and tips you should look for as a leader and entrepreneur that will cause your business to be a success. You see, project management can either sink your business or help it to sail. Have you ever seen a stay-at-home mom that runs a tight ship, or an effective coach that leads her ball players to a championship? Perhaps you've watched a teacher with good classroom management. No home, community initiative, or business is run without effective systems and management. No matter the size of your business, without your ability to manage anything from marketing campaigns to product launches and client expectations to the right team, your business will always stall or be on the brink of failure. So here's what to look for. Trigger number 1. When you don't know what to do with your time, you play dead. Yep. No, really. When you don't know how to fundraise or increase your business revenue, I've seen it a million times, you freeze. I mean, it can leave you twiddling your thumbs a bit. I mean, a lot of it. Some may pretend they know what they are doing when it comes to sales because it seems like you should know, right, how to sell things. But newsflash, everyone is not Zig Ziglar. You may find yourself staring at your laptop and that little light on your phone goes off, indicating you have a new Facebook notification, and there goes 25 minutes of your time. What can you do to get the ball rolling again, and for some, get it rolling for the first time? Here's tip number 1. Research. If you're a nonprofit or in the nonprofit space, your number one priority traditionally is fundraising. Your number two priority is helping others. Whether we like it or not, that's a fact. You want it to be the other way around, right? But number two is not possible without number one sometimes, and that makes you crazy. Yeah, I get it, and have been there with my clients. Research can help you identify a few key ideas. For example, a good consultant who specializes in nonprofit startups. Even if you're a for profit or work for a for profit, number one can still apply. Research proven consultants can help you establish a strategic plan, including what is unique about what you're selling. And you're always selling something, even if it's feeding the homeless. And is the market asking for it? Is the market asking you to do it? And sometimes this changes over the years. What might have been needed over 5 years ago may not be needed now. Hello, Blockbuster and Netflix. Are you Blockbuster or are you Netflix? Establish an advisory board of like-minded people, not people who always agree with you, but folks who get the vision, who can support your mission, whether it's a not-for-profit or a for-profit organization or company. If you are a new company who eventually wants to have a C3 designation, you want to consider a fiscal sponsor. It can take time, nurtured relationships, and manpower, but through research and a great consultant, you can align yourself with an already established organization that can help your program launch. I am doing this very thing for a client now. His organization is focused on veteran housing and career placement after someone is finished with the military. But he does not have a C3 designation. So we're working together in order to write his business plan, which we're doing for him, connecting him with the right people to support that organization, and also help him to get the C3 designation, which takes time and time. Okay, so have I overwhelmed you yet? If you said yes, stop the recording. Before you do, I want you to think about, in that time when you've stopped the recording, to think about what your next step is. A hint is to do your research on amazing consultants and then interview them. But only you know what the very next step should be. So go ahead, pause. Okay, so hopefully you paused. The next tip that I'll give under about research is whether you are non-for-profit or for-profit, you will need to get so incredibly comfortable with the word no, and sometimes worse, no answer at all. There are 1,001 books on sales, and I've read a lot of them. One of the components they always share about sales is for you to have the ability to hear no, overcome no, and know when to walk away from a no. Okay, trigger number 2. White knuckling your way through a bad situation. It only makes it worse. Contrary to popular belief, today's millennials, working class, and I use that phrase loosely, works damn hard. We just don't always work smart. And if we don't know what to do, we either pretend our way through it or don't make any strides forward at all. Perfectionist, I tell you. So here's a tip. Communicate. A bad situation could be anything from layoffs, bad breakups with clients, slow season, crashed website, lack of clarity, the list goes on. Your industry may vary, but the easiest way to stop white knuckling your way through a bad situation is knowing you are doing so and reaching out to a trusted, experienced colleague or advisory board member to talk the situation through. The worst mistake I've ever made in business was keeping my big mouth shut. If you do not have 2 to 3 successful business people in your Rolodex, that is your next step. These are the people you call when you have hit a wall. You have to keep it 100 with them. Being totally transparent will help you decide how to rectify a really bad situation. And that leads to trigger number 3. Not feeling appreciated and or not seeing your work valued. Tip, think about what you do and how it helps others. We complicate everything. When you are preparing to launch a new program or have a client preparing to start a new business or launch a new product within their business, remember to keep it simple. I always say, what do you do? Who do you do it for? What need are you addressing? In your marketing and as you talk about it to others, speak directly to the need they speak to, not what you think will make their life better. Do you believe what you offer has value? Do you believe it? No one is going to believe in you more than you do. No one is thinking about your business, your nonprofit, your initiative. Most people are not going to be as passionate about what you're passionate about. Do you think things like, I would do this for free, or I just want to help? If that's the case, then do it for free and help. There are many nonprofits and organizations that can use free labor and expert advice. If you value your skill, education, business acumen, research, efforts, and purpose in life, consider if you trust that you can bring this together to have a successful business. Do you know how to put a dollar amount on what you are offering? I talk about pricing models to clients often when it comes to launching a new product. But inevitably, what comes up is, am I worth it? There is a ton of research you can do on the subject. For example, market value given your geographic location. But if you're not prepared to ask for it, who is giving it to you? The question to ask yourself and or talk through with a trusted advisor, mentor, or consultant is, do I value what I have to offer? Do I value it enough to sell it? Should it be sold? Trigger number 4. Weeks, months, and even years have passed, and yet it seems like your needle never moves. So tip number 4, appreciating action. So this is a term I use with my clients. Appreciating action is the calculated research steps you take to move from point A to point B. Appreciating action is what I do with our clients when they hit a wall. Actually, they usually call me because they hit a wall and don't have time to do it all. Traditionally, our clients move off of point A but never quite make it to point B. The trick is to ask yourself and write down, what is stopping me now? Assume nothing that comes to mind is silly, stupid, or without merit. Once you do so, ask yourself, what is a good next step? Some of the tactical steps are hire someone to do X for me, or talk to a proven business consultant, or reach out to a lawyer, or read that book that what's his name suggested on C4 designations. Sometimes that problem is, or the problems are a bit more layered than a simple step. Sometimes you need an advisor or mentor to sit down with you to discuss where you are now and where you want to be with your business to help you connect the dots. I also ask new clients quite often, do you want to do this? It's hard, sometimes damn near impossible, to walk away from something you've given your all to. But you also don't want to be the one beating a dead horse. If there is an opportunity to move forward, asking yourself some maybe hard questions is in order. Who is doing what I'm doing? Who is in their market? What kind of website do they have? How often can I network in person? What do I say when I am in front of a potential client or partner? Some business next steps are tactical, and there are consultants out there that will give you a free call or two to determine if hiring is a good step for you. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, what is really stopping me from hiring staff or rebranding the company? And trigger number 5, find yourself asking the question, is there more that I should be doing? So here's tip number 5, inventory. You got to take inventory. When you have a mindset of an entrepreneur, whether you're doing so part-time or full-time, you are always in go mode. Entrepreneur is not a title, it's a state of being. You literally have no chill. You wake up with that pad and pen by your bedside, writing down yet another great idea. You work 10 to 12-hour days. You support your family and friends. Perhaps you have a little child or two of your own. You're always wondering, what else could I do? How do I find the time to do it? In reality, just because you know how to make something or build a house or be a consultant or write an amazing book does not mean you know how to run a business. One of the first steps I do when I begin working with a client or preparing for a launch is to take stock of what they have done and haven't done to date. If you haven't had a lot of experience in running a business, consider the successes you've had in your career as a whole. I run surveys with my clients' end users to get their feedback on what works and what does not work as it relates to my client or my client's company and their wares, their products, their programs. Look at the frustrations you've come up against over the last year. What are they? What is causing them? Do you know how much you want to make every month? How much you need to make every month? Do you have these answers for your business? Trigger number 6. You've become, or scared of becoming, the business version of an ambulance chaser. So this is the last trigger and last tip. Planning. Planning. So important. Everyone knows or has heard of that one sleazy sales guy. The worst is when it's someone who is in a field you think should do good work and therefore not be about the money, i.e. pastors. I won't get into a lecture now, but we put a lot of weight on doing work that matters, having a nonprofit mindset or starting a social enterprise, etc., that we cannot envision a world where we view salespeople and our business as going hand in hand. We have a hard time selling because of it. The reason a company like the ID Inc. exists is because people can't usually multitask. They can't put all of these pieces together if their one focus is their one product or program. If they can, they don't do it well, running a business, I mean. Because they can't do it well for long, or they can't think in terms of systems, they have a one-track mindset. So take one of my best girlfriends as an example. She's an assistant principal. She is married to a wonderful man with 3 beautiful kids, all under the age of 4. They have a system down to a T for their evening ritual. It's so cool, actually. I'm a business management nerd, so systems of any kind excite me to no end. The point is, my friend and her husband run a tight ship. If it were a business in which they could not do it all on their own, they'd hire us. When you can't, you plan. You have to plan. You decide what your strengths are. You see what other companies have those strengths and or offer those services. You see ways to partner with each other. You identify your weaknesses and fill holes that way. You consider high-level problems within your business and begin brainstorming solutions from the top down with your consultant, sometimes by yourself, team and or advisory board, and then you manage these many moving pieces so it runs efficiently. I use project management tools like Asana, Basecamp, even Google Drive. Sites.google.com is one way to keep it organized. It depends on the clients I'm working with, and I've worked with all kinds, all types, all sizes, but ultimately, thinking about from the top down and from the bottom up is how I start to plan a multi-layered issue, problem, product launch, etc. When you don't do this kind of planning, and I'm giving you a bit of that insight here, you forget about legal questions, for example, strategic partnerships, opportunities to give back, business modeling that helps a greater good, all of the logistics that makes your product go or not go. All of those details is important when you are working with a project management team or when you yourself have to be the project manager. People hire us because when you're really good at baking cakes, you're not really good or don't want to be really good at launching a cake baking class. And all of the logistics go with it. Researching licenses, creating marketing plans, getting butts in seats, hiring a support person or staff, simply planning the day-to-day to make the baking class happen. It's important to run your business or community initiative like a well-run machine. Not doing so stops you from thinking about your business like a CEO instead of an employee. When you think about your business as an employee only, you miss opportunities to partner with potential clients or lead highly purposeful initiatives. It causes you to think hard and not smart. For example, some problems that are really complex may be a bit easier than you imagine if you were to work with your advisory board or take a Creative Friday, a day when you focus on the vision of the company. It also makes it harder for you to think about important certifications or licenses. People often are so disorganized and mismanaged that they don't think to consult with an attorney or CPA. They may overlook legal components of the business or business strategies by not connecting with experts in a particular industry. So here's the deal. I want to support you. I want to support your business. So Instead of always working one-on-one with people, which sometimes can get pricey for my clients, I have developed with my team an interactive 3-month easier way to build your business program for millennial entrepreneurs and leaders. It includes web training videos, a live workshop in Miami on July 29th and July 30th, mastermind groups following the workshop, and one-on-one consultations with business experts. It's called Leader of the New Schools. You think different. So here are the features and the benefits, or bennies. A community of people to help launch your master plan, sales strategies, answers to general legal questions, and answers to the question, why am I uniquely meant to do this work now? A customized roadmap and strategy for your business, nonprofit, or movement, templates for effective community organizing, a plan for reorganizing, restructuring, and/or launching a community business or project, a move from the intellectual to the actual, an about face towards questions that you have avoided asking or didn't know to ask, tools on how to make room for what you really want to be doing with your business or community redevelopment project, learn how to make an impact within your particular sector or industry, a set of resources to launch and expand your idea, and a network of people who are equally as passionate, concerned, brilliant, and skillful within their chosen field. So I've invited a ton of my friends and colleagues to come down on July 29th and 30th after you go through these web trainings to work through all of the details. It's a real workshop. A business lawyer to talk about all of your questions dealing with legalese, the president and CEO of Conscious Capitalism Florida to talk about B corporations. We're going to have a beautiful dinner and a networking event Friday night, July 29th, after those 2 workshops. And then Saturday, you have an all-day workshop with catered breakfast and catered lunch where I'll talk to you about visioning and how you know when to wrap up your business or rev up your business. We'll also be hearing from Catherine Moore, who's going to talk about integrity and communications. And flying down from Canada is actually Catherine Mitchell, who's going to talk about sales and integrity and value when you do think differently, when you're a nonprofit person or a social entrepreneur or a millennial leader thinking about work differently than maybe our parents thought about work. So here's from some of our clients. I'll pause a second so you can read through it. This is Brian. He's one of the directors for SunServe, which is a nonprofit organization that was one of my clients last year. He's so handsome, isn't he? I'll let you read. Sorry. Pretty awesome. The next client is Green Mills. I'll let you read a little. And then Joyce O'Brien is an author and speaker. I'll let you read about her as well. So because I've done successful workshops and worked with one-on-one clients for almost 10 years, I'm committed to ensuring that each person who is a part of the program and live workshop has a business plan and roadmap, a network of people who are supporting their individual efforts, and access to business resources including legal, bookkeeping, business experts, and purposeful clients and customers. Simply put, if you are not happy with the 3-month program after it's over, we will give you your money back. Okay. So below this video, you just click on the button and you can pay for the program. It's Leader of the New School. Now what? Click on the registration button below the video. You can pay all at once and save a few bucks. And if you type in Millennial 100, you'll save $100. You can pay in 2 installments. Either way, you receive registration information including details about the live workshop on July 29th and July 30th. hotel information if you're flying into Miami, and next steps for your first web training. You will receive all of this within 24 hours. I'm so excited about you coming down to Miami and being a part of the 3-month program, both live and in person and virtually. Have an awesome day. Thank you for listening. See you here soon.